Have you ever looked in the mirror, stuck out your tongue, and instead of seeing a healthy pink surface, you were met with a thick, white, creamy coating? Maybe you scraped at it with your teeth or tried to scrub it away, but it just wouldn't budge. Or perhaps you didn't even notice the color, but you've noticed people stepping back when you speak or offering you gum a little too often. That white layer is known as lingual saburra, or simply white tongue. And it is a problem that affects a massive number of people. It is not just a cosmetic issue. It is one of the leading causes of chronic bad breath. It's a silent confidence killer. It creates anxiety in intimate moments. It makes you self-conscious in job interviews, and it creates a constant background noise of worry in your social life. The frustration is real because most people think they are practicing good hygiene. You brush your teeth, you floss, maybe you even use mouthwash. Yet, the bad breath persists, and that white layer remains. The reason for this is simple, but often overlooked. You are likely cleaning your tongue completely wrong. You might be using the wrong tools, or worse, using the right tools in a way that triggers your gag reflex, making you want to stop before the job is done. Today, we are going to fix this. We are going to turn this problem around. I am going to walk you through exactly what that white stuff is, why your toothbrush is actually failing you, and how to master the art of tongue cleaning in just 1 minute a day. By the end of this, you will have a clear blueprint to banish white tongue and wake up with fresher breath without the need for expensive treatments or complicated routines. First, we need to understand the enemy. To defeat white tongue, you have to understand the anatomy of your mouth. Your tongue is not a smooth surface like a slide. If you look at it under a microscope, it looks more like a plush carpet or a rugged landscape full of hills and valleys. These are called papillae and villi. Some people have a more rugose or rougher tongue than others, meaning their valleys are deeper and their hills are higher. This texture is great for tasting food, but it is a nightmare for hygiene. These little crevices are the perfect hiding spots. Throughout the day, dead skin cells, food particles, and tiny amounts of mucus get trapped in this mesh. This mixture becomes a feast for bacteria. As these bacteria feed and multiply, they form a biofilm, a sticky, glue-like colony. This accumulation of organic matter and bacteria is what we call saburra. When this biofilm creates a thick layer, it reflects light, appearing white or yellowish. But the color is the least of your worries. As these bacteria break down the proteins in the trapped food and dead cells, they release volatile sulfur compounds. Sulfur is the same element that gives rotten eggs their distinct smell. So, when you have a white tongue, you literally have a gas factory sitting right in the center of your mouth, pumping out bad odors every time you exhale or speak. So, naturally, your instinct is to clean it. Most people reach for the tool they already have in their hand, the toothbrush. You finish brushing your teeth, and then you take that brush and start scrubbing your tongue. It feels like you're doing something good, right? Here is the hard truth. Using a toothbrush to clean your tongue is almost entirely ineffective for removing saburra. Think about the design of a toothbrush. It is made of hundreds of tiny, flexible bristles. These bristles are engineered to sweep over hard, smooth surfaces, like tooth enamel, and to flick plaque out from the gum line. When you apply those bristles to the soft, sponge-like surface of the tongue, they don't scrape, they agitate. Imagine you have a muddy rug. If you take a rake and run it over the rug, you aren't removing the mud. You are just spreading it around and pushing it deeper into the fibers. That is what a toothbrush does to your tongue. It disturbs the biofilm, maybe moves it from the center to the side, but it doesn't lift it off. The bristles are too soft and pliable to get the necessary friction to pull that sticky layer of white gunk off the surface. Furthermore, scrubbing the tongue with bristles can sometimes be irritating to the sensitive tissue, causing microabrasions if you are too aggressive. Then there are the hacks. Some toothbrushes come with that little rubber patch on the back of the head. Manufacturers claim this is a tongue cleaner. While the intention is good, the execution is usually poor. These little rubber ridges are often too shallow and cover too small of a surface area to be effective. You would have to scrub back and forth dozens of times to make a dent in the coating, and even then, it's rarely a deep clean. Some people, realizing the toothbrush doesn't work, turn to kitchen utensils. The spoon. Using a spoon is arguably better than a toothbrush because it has a hard edge, but it's still not ideal. A spoon is concave and designed to hold liquid, not to contour perfectly to the muscle of your tongue. It can miss the sides, and the edge can sometimes be too blunt, or conversely, too sharp, depending on your silverware. It's a makeshift solution for a problem that requires a specific tool. But before I show you the physical tool that fixes this, you need to know about a biological breakthrough. New research suggests that the root cause of this sticky biofilm isn't just debris. It's an imbalance in your mouth's ecosystem that regular toothpaste can't fix. There is a strange, new red dental foam cleanse that takes just 10 seconds a day. It's designed to penetrate deep into that biofilm, stop gum bleeding, and even remineralize your teeth overnight. If you want to tackle the root cause of your oral health issues, scan the QR code on your screen right now, or click the link I've pinned in the top comment to watch a short video explaining how this red foam works. Now, while that foam handles the biology, you still need to physically remove the bulk of the waste. That brings us to the only tool you should be using. Why settle for makeshift when the real solution is incredibly cheap and widely available? The tool you need is a tongue scraper. A tongue scraper is exactly what it sounds like. It is a simple device, usually made of plastic or metal, designed specifically for the anatomy of the tongue. It costs next to nothing. You can usually find them for under $10 at any pharmacy or supermarket. The difference between a scraper and a toothbrush is night and day. The scraper provides a firm, consistent edge that spans across the width of your tongue. When you pull it forward, it acts like a squeegee on a window. It doesn't spread the dirt, it gathers it and lifts it completely off the surface. It provides the necessary friction to dislodge that sticky biofilm from the valleys of your tongue without damaging the tissue. If you have never used one, the first time you do, you will likely be shocked and perhaps a little grossed out by the amount of yellow or white sludge that comes off. That sludge is the smell. That is the bad breath leaving your body. Seeing that physical evidence is incredibly satisfying because you know that gunk is no longer sitting in your mouth. Now let's talk technique. Having the tool is step 1, but using it correctly is step 2. There is a method to doing this efficiently so that it only takes you about 1 minute a day. First, let's discuss timing. The best time to scrape your tongue is actually at night, right before you go to bed. Most people think morning is best because they wake up with a bad taste, and while morning scraping is fine, nighttime is strategic. When you sleep, your salivary glands slow down. Saliva is your mouth's natural detergent. It creates oxygen-rich conditions that keep bad bacteria in check. When saliva flow drops at night, your mouth becomes dry, which is the perfect breeding ground for anaerobic bacteria, the smelly kind. If you go to bed with a tongue full of food debris and plaque, you are essentially leaving a buffet out for these bacteria for 8 hours. By scraping before bed, you remove the fuel source. You will wake up with significantly better breath. Here is the step-by-step motion. Open your mouth wide. Place the scraper at the back of your tongue. Now, apply gentle pressure. You do not need to scrape hard. This is a common mistake. People think they need to sand their tongue down. You don't. The tongue is soft tissue. If you press too hard, you can cause bleeding or damage the taste buds. Let the tool do the work. A gentle but firm drag is all you need. Pull the scraper from the back to the front in one smooth motion. Rinse the gunk off the scraper under the tap. Repeat this down the center of the tongue about 3 or 4 times. Then move to the sides. The lateral borders of the tongue can also trap debris. So do a few gentle swipes on the left and right sides. That's it. You are done. However, I know what many of you are thinking right now. I can't do that. I have a terrible gag reflex. If I put anything near the back of my throat, I'm going to throw up. This is the #1 barrier to proper tongue cleaning. The gag reflex is a natural protective mechanism, but it can be trained or bypassed with the right tricks. If you struggle with gagging, here is the secret. First, stick your tongue out as far as it can possibly go. When you extend your tongue fully, you flatten out the back portion, making it more accessible and less prone to triggering that reflex compared to when the tongue is bunched up inside the mouth. Second, control your breathing. Breathe through your nose, not your mouth, while you are doing this. It helps calm the reflex. But if the standard back-to-front motion is still making you gag, you need to change the angle. Instead of pulling the scraper straight down the center from the throat towards the teeth, try moving it sideways. Place the scraper in the center of your tongue and pull it out towards the cheek. Doing these lateral, side-to-side movements is much less likely to trigger the gag reflex because you aren't stimulating the soft palate in the same way. You can clean the tongue in sections, left to right to left, until you feel comfortable. Over time, your tongue will actually become desensitized. If you start cleaning just the front half and slowly, day by day, move a millimeter further back, your body will get used to the sensation. It is about consistency, not depth. Don't torture yourself trying to reach the uvula on day 1. Start where you are comfortable and work your way back. Remember, the goal is not to have a tongue that looks like polished red plastic. A healthy tongue naturally has a slight pale hue due to the papillae, but it should not have a thick, fuzzy coating. By incorporating this simple habit, scraping instead of brushing and doing it properly once a day, you are removing the vast majority of the bacteria responsible for halitosis. It is a 1-minute investment that pays huge dividends in your personal confidence. If you are suffering from chronic bad breath and this doesn't seem to solve it entirely, there may be other factors at play, such as tonsil stones or gum disease, but for the vast majority of people, the white tongue is the primary culprit. Stop relying on the toothbrush bristles that just move the dirt around. Stop using the spoon that doesn't fit right. Spend the few dollars on a proper scraper, learn the technique to bypass your gag reflex, and integrate this into your nightly routine. It is the single most effective thing you can do for your breath immediately. If you want to dive deeper into solving bad breath issues or need a comprehensive guide on oral hygiene, check the resources I've listed in the description below. Taking control of your oral health is not just about teeth, it's about the whole ecosystem of your mouth. Start scraping today and enjoy the feeling of a truly clean mouth.